Greg. Mike. Two bandits. Watching Bluey.
This episode is called Aussie.
Ooh, what up, party people, and welcome
to
episode 68
68, folks.
of Two Bandits Watching Bluey. I'm your good podcast painter.
There he is. I see him right here because we were going to do this remote, and we said nay. In person, only way to bay. See, I kind of made that rhyme, too.
And with me,
Yes. Sorry.
he's the tango to my 7.
Oh,
And
what
his
up?
name,
I typically go by Mike Martin, and if I were a dog character in Bluey, my last name wouldn't really make sense because there's no Martin dogs.
that was a big what up, party people.
That was a lot of what up party people, but I don't blame you.
My dude.
Yes?
We got a big one.
Uh-oh.
We got an exciting one. You know what? I realized on the drive over here,
Okay.
we've done camping.
Yep.
We've done sleepover.
Uh-huh.
We've done a lot of iconic Bluey episodes.
Sure.
We've had our good friends with us.
Yes.
This is probably the biggest episode as far as the Bluey fandom goes. There's just the two of us building Castle in the Sky right here, buddy.
Oh wow, you got me all with the wiggly gigglies there. Yeah, it's there's a lot of anticipation getting to this episode, and I don't want to. It's interesting because it's an episode that if you watch it all the way through, you're gonna get the feels. You do. It's not possible to not get the feels.
There's so many things. There's so much good.
But there's a little bit more of like a whimsical, fun understanding. You've got
Hey, Mike.
yeah.
We'll get there.
Oh,
But first,
save it for now.
But before first.
Oh no, I'm scared.
We got some business
Okay.
to discuss.
Okay.
Because we talked trains last week.
You're
We're
getting so angry
about
at
to
me
talk.
about
We're about to talk Army.
Okay, yes, we are gonna be
Which-
talking about Army. Look out, folks. Trains.
But we got to finish up trains because I learned a shocking thing last week.
Boop, boop,
I don't know how I missed it or did not realize it.
Okay.
You're not always as much on our socials as I am.
You're very prominent on the socials,
But
and
I
I need to
learned-
start putting like a sign by Mike.
I
Love
learned
you.
by a few people, our pals Tim and Kim, no relation,
But it
reached
rhymes.
out. Did you know that the slug that Bandit licks is actually a poo?
Oh, that's funnier.
That's disgusting.
Oh no, Greg's off. He's
I
lowered trains.
I
on his
am
ranker.
all about hashtag release the poo cuts.
That is the poo cut.
Gross.
It's invisible poo. It's okay.
But it was like, oh, that's gross. It's a slug. He licks a poop.
Yeah, got him.
No. No more pranking. No, I never want to get pranked by you ever again if your response to licking a poo is, got him.
I mean, she did. That was well thought out. And I would have been surprised if my kid was just like, yeah, it's a slug, Dad. But poop. Like, that tracks for
Gross.
That tracks for my 5-year-old's mind. I think you would find that humorous. It would be a fun time.
It would not be a fun time to lick poo, Michael.
Every little one's mind is a little different. And on that day, Bluey decided to be a little different.
I
That's
guess
okay.
she did.
Oh.
Now, friends,
Our apologies?
I don't think that's a Bandit botch.
No.
I think it's a Bluey botch
It's in
by
the-
making Dad lick some poo.
It's
but
in the quotations. It's in the captions. It's on the audio. No blame on our game. This is what we're
never.
witnessing.
We have plenty blame for other things, I'm sure. But let's rock
I
into
don't know what
this.
you're talking about.
It is Army o'clock. I can't wait to get to this episode. But
Yes.
first,
Oh gosh, don't
we need
watch
to
it
see-
there, Wiki Blue.
what our pals at WikiBlue got to say about this?
Hey Greg,
Yeah, bud.
what is Army?
Jack is the new dog at school and the newest recruit in Rusty's army. Jack struggles with following instructions and always forgets his hat, but Rusty will make a soldier out of him yet.
Ooh, whoa, spoiler-ish.
I want a TV show called Rusty's Army now.
Okay.
And there's a new recruit every week, and they all have their own thing, but they come together as a unit, and they're the best group ever.
Can it just be like a rehashing of MASH, but it's got Rusty on it?
A mix
Or-
of MASH and Hogan's Heroes,
There you
but
go.
with Rusty. Hey,
Get on it, bro.
Hey, Mike, how much MASH have you watched? Because I feel like the answer is 0 episodes.
No, long story short on that, I have not watched a single episode. That's
I'm
cool.
not surprised.
When I worked at a music store for a long time, there was a woodwinds teacher that was there, and he
Was the star of MASH. It was Alan Alda. Oh my
Well,
God.
It's my 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon to MASH is his brother was the one that wrote the theme song to MASH.
Really?
So, I at least have that under my belt. What's up?
That is...
So, shout out to, oh gosh, Mandel is the last name.
Effect?
Last name. So,
Nelson? What are you talking about?
The person who wrote the theme song.
I'm pretty sure the name of the theme song is "Suicide Is Painless," which is a real bummer of a name song, written by John Mash. Thanks, John Mash. Shout out to you.
Nobody call me out on who wrote it. I need to look at it myself because it's...
Growing up, we had 2 channels, and living up in the boonies.
One was the one that told you every channel, what shows on every channel.
God,
and the other one
that'd be
was
just
Smash.
the worst. It was CBS and ABC, Channel 7, Channel 50, and 5 p.m. to 5:30 every day was MASH in reruns. And I'm not that old, so it wasn't live
I'm
MASH.
not knocking you, I promise.
So I've got a lot of MASH feels, but we're not talking about MASH today, friend.
His name was Alan Mandel. Was the name of his brother.
Oh God.
Sorry. I'm a very eclectic human being. I need that out of my noggin. It's okay.
It's time to meet a new character, friend.
Oh, he comes
And
in
we
strong,
open up
folks.
With Jack. He's telling Mom about his first day at a new school.
Oh, the notes, they are a-flying
Oh,
today,
here we come.
aren't
We
they,
will just
folks?
rock on and keep going. So
Can't stop, won't stop.
I'm already jumping ahead a little bit, but I like the way this episode's going is very much a daddy drop-off. Because we're getting a story from another source. Mm-hmm. Now other than a quick Bluey cameo, we have no healers here at all.
True statement.
And this, I very much love that we start off, we're telling the story of the mom, and then here again, just jumping up a little bit. But then when we see Jack again, it's like he's on like a purple backdrop and he's talking to pretty much like he's on a reality TV show.
Sure. So let's have the
recapping
interview
his
with Jack
experience.
today.
So it just
Hear
a
the hand
really,
signals?
really cool start that we're not giving you any intro. We're jumping in. There's a new doggo. Let's see what's going on his first day to school.
Doesn't zoom in on the healer household at all. It doesn't zoom in on the school of him arriving. It's Mom coming home from work and saying, "How was your first day at school, Jack?" Oh.
And then we cut to the flashback, and we are in the car with Jack's dad, Jack's little sister. Did you know, my good friend, that
their backseat is just as messy as the healers?
That's just a thing of life, I think. But no, we have the parents of Jack are Zoe Foster Blake and our good friend, soon to be future good friend probably, Hamish Blake.
Oh yeah,
actual married couple. Our Hamish from Lego Masters Aussie style. Zoe
it's
Foster,
actually really good. Have you watched any of it?
I've not.
It's really good.
Zoe
Hamish
Foster
is a fun
has her
guy.
own like corporate enterprise. She's like I believe cosmetics company she owns.
Cool.
But they're like big. I enjoy when shows have like it's such a small part, but they're like fairly big names, and they're actually for real life married. So that's kind of cool
really
that they just
rad.
pop in there.
So I did do like an OG version of what we used to do when we were talking about the healer household a lot because we were experiencing it very fresh at the time. Any
what's
chance I
back
get
there?
to see somebody's house, I'm like super hyped because I could be like, oh, this is what this person's characteristics are. And I don't know which one had a lot of control out of the decorating of that household. Everything has some form of a rose or a flower.
A lot of roses.
On everything. It's on the pillows. It's on the cabinet. There are wooden ones.
There's like a frame that looks like the Beauty and the Beast rose.
Correct. And interestingly enough, there's something right in the middle of the I don't know what it is. It looks like a metal or like a little microphone or something like that. I have no idea what it is.
He's a podcaster.
Maybe he's a podcaster or a fan or a TV show host or maybe it's a radio or two because he was on. Does Hamish does radio?
Sure.
But and then also Jack's.
What's a podcast but fancy radio? Come on now.
See, that's what we
Without
do.
music.
Jack's backpack. I love it because he's got a little lightning bolt on it because he's so fast. It made me very happy. It's just sorry, you're gonna get a lot of that in this episode, man.
There's a lot of happy for this episode.
Yes.
Did you have comments in the back seat of the Russell's car?
In the car, decoration wise, no.
No, okay.
Because there is that kind of debate of whether it was right or not for Jack's dad to respond that way with how the episode starts of him being wiggly
With him
giggly.
fidgeting?
In
What do you
the
mean
back
if it's
seat.
right for him to tell him that
Well,
to
some
fidget?
people think that because of like, I feel like the reason why, because it's a 7-minute show, and they needed a very direct way to express Jack is neurodivergent. Is
Yeah,
the word?
I believe so.
And you could spend 20 minutes talking about how his mind works, but I think that was a very direct way of Bluey being like, this is how this is Jack's mindset.
This is Jack, and he forgets his hat, and he forgets to answer where his hat is,
Right.
and
I mean,
it's hard to sit still.
If your kid is also like pushing back and forth and pulling the seatbelt, as a dad driving to the new school, first day of school, he's kind of just looking
You've got
out for
some
Jack's
stress, too.
safety.
Yeah.
So I don't think people were poo-pooing on him a little bit I say it was kind of just a foundation
And
of what you're going to get into in the episode.
And I think too, it's a little bit. Jack's very young. The parents are. It's hard to be Jack. It's hard to be parents too to understand.
Very much
They've got two kids who act two different ways. We got Jack's little sister.
Sure.
Jack's fidgeting again. Why can't you do as you're told? I don't know. I got on this one. This we'll talk about little sis for a minute. Who I don't believe has a name at the minute.
No. Right now she's called Little Jerkhead. But that's
See, I'm not calling her a little jerkhead. I'm calling her. I saw Olivia in that moment right there.
Aww.
A lot of so you just called Olivia a jerk. So
Yeah,
who's the jerk
okay.
now, Mike?
Judge Judy or something. I'm sorry, Olivia.
But I noticed. But I noticed a lot of times we get little sister just. You hear parents saying, "Don't do this, don't do that." Mm-hmm. Well, why can't I? I see something happening wrong. Why don't you do as you're told? Jack's doing it again. This is my brother Jack. He can never sit still.
Oh, poor
So
Jack.
I don't think sister is trying to be mean.
Sure.
She's just kind of emulating what she hears her parents have to say a lot to Jack. She's trying to parrot her big brother.
I'm gonna go on record right now and say it because we give a lot of kudos to the children actors that are not credited at all in the show. I think this episode has the two best children voice actors out of the show. Sorry, I'm gonna go on record and saying it because Jack's voice is so compassionate. He's got that little grit to his voice. Like I don't want to say he's smoked a pack, but he has just a little bit.
Oh,
of grit.
Rusty's got all the grit in the world.
But so does Rusty.
Ah.
Oh man, there's something about the voice actors in this one that's so fantastic.
But we're not at Rusty yet though. We're
not. I know. That's
we're just
going on
rolling up.
early.
We're rolling up to school, and I know you've got notes on things, but I've got some notes here because we have.
When you pull up the school,
we have a lovely wide shot on the outside of Calypso School, and if I miss anything, shout me out for this.
I've got one word in caps.
But we've got. I bet it's the same word that I have. We got Coco's mom, Coco's dad chatting.
Yeah.
We got Mackenzie's dad on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Got Snickers a little bit too close to the cars for my liking, but is what it is.
He's running around in circles. He's living that Snickers life, and I love it.
We got Mackenzie at the end of the little rivery thing. Mm-hmm. Got our good friend Coco in the middle. I love that we've got some pretzel and a solo terrier.
Just one terrier.
At first, I thought they were like, are they pretending to fish? Because I know Pretzel was liking to fish in the original Calypso episode.
They're just kicking their
but they're
feet
just hanging out. We got that lovely little pretzel hat on.
Got the little hat.
We've got your boy Witten, who's hanging out with Calypso on the steps. And what's the one last thing that we randomly have there, Mike?
Freaking chicken, man!
That chicken!
Calypso! Yo!
Why is there a chicken just chilling?
Anyone going through the schooling system that is based on the Steinberg schooling system, where it's focused on play and that's how they grow, it might be another Stein, but we're picking up a lot of information when it comes to the show.
They're the Montessori-esque, yeah.
Yeah! Chickens?
I feel like that's a thing. I really feel like that is a thing for that type of school. I know there's like school pets and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
I mean, I could see that. We had, every now and then in school we would have like a hamster in the kindergarten class, or like there was like a class pet where it was a turtle, but a chicken can get up to some nonsense.
Just
dog.
hanging out. Just hanging out.
Like, does the chicken live with Calypso and she takes him home every night, or does he stay?
I think it's just
I think
it's just Australia, my dude, because we're gonna have some bin turkeys running around in a minute. It's gonna be great for everybody. But I think Bluey is being kind to us in this episode because we don't need to get our crazy red string out and draw too many lines to when this episode actually takes place, because they tell us like 5 seconds in.
Oh, don't worry.
This is during the adventure.
Yes.
We've got
you can move the conspiracy board around.
Sitting right there. We're riding our horse with the princess on it to go try to find food for the kingdom. We know where we are, so this is an eventful day
because
at this
season
school.
2 episode. We're on episode 68. We talked about the adventure 30 episodes ago.
Yeah, with our good friend Brent Kelly.
Combined,
our first ever guest episode.
First ever guest episode. Wow,
it's been a busy.
We're growing up. It's okay.
And hey, friends, just get y'all excited. We got some fun other guests coming real soon.
When it's cemented or concrete, or in Greg's specialty, he won't talk about it until it's actually done and recorded.
Yeah.
We have some good stuff.
But we'll talk about that when we get there, my dudes. But moving on.
Like to jinx it at all.
We've got that little sister energy telling Calypso that poor Jack just has some issues staying still. Has some issues remembering things.
Jack presented himself very well. He walked up. He said, "Hi, I'm Jack." She's like, "Hi, I'm Calypso." And then little Judge Judy threw him under the bus there.
She's trying. In my book, she's trying to help. She's
Okay.
little. She's probably 2, 3. She doesn't understand that her way of trying to help might be making Jack feel bad. I don't think she's trying to be a
I
jerk.
highly doubt that she's going to be thinking about that on the ride home.
No, she's not going to think about anything. She's going to think about her next toy that she's going to play with. That's the life of a 3-year-old. But Calypso knows just what to do.
Oh,
because
gosh.
Calypso is the greatest teacher. Meg Washington.
Good
You
golly.
rock. Best ever.
I think you would be fantastic hanging out with that red Kelpie over there.
I don't know why. Just the words red Kelpie make me feel so happy.
Well, because she doesn't want to impose, saying like, you can hang out with Rusty, it'd be great. It's an easy way to introduce it, where it'd just be like, Mike, you can go hang out with that guy in that dapper hat over there. But he does have a dapper hat on.
I do like. I didn't even catch that too, because now they have to introduce themselves, and you're not giving somebody a
Hi,
preconceived
you're Rusty, right?
notion of who somebody is or what they are. It's like, go talk to that red Kelpie.
Yeah, they'll get along fine. It'll be great. And she's the one that just lights the spark that is Army. It's so, well done, Calypso. Way to be good teaching.
We meet Rusty, who's playing Army, and here we go. When things
Yeah,
are about to
boy.
blow up. Now, not to call you out too hard here,
Always call me out.
but I think I remember. I don't think we were well into this podcast.
Okay.
And somebody sent us, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the episode. Somebody sent us some info about Army. You had never seen that episode.
No,
You were very late to the game to actually, because you saw a different Rusty episode. He's like, "Oh, I love Rusty." It's like, "You must love Army."
And
Which
maybe
one?
Mums and Dads or something like that. I was still a little young in the Rusty game. So
But man, oh man, I think
Joe Brum's not scared to prove the point that he wanted to name the show after him originally.
very much with Holy Free Holies. We haven't even said this episode's called because, do you want to play Army with me? I don't know. I struggled to do what I'm told. Attention! Left foot, right foot, face front. Yeah, you can play.
And he just cuts back. He's like, yeah, you're good. You can play. And it's such a proof of, Jack's mindset. I think this is the way I'm going to just keep positioning it. And, he's fidgety in the car and all that kind of stuff because he doesn't have something to hyper-focus on. He doesn't have anything that will give him his dopamine in that moment. And the moment he meets Rusty, even though he was hyper-focused on school, and that's very intimidating in general, just meeting 20 kids and the terriers are there and they're not afraid to... I don't think they talk quietly. I think the terriers exist.
Do you need protecting?
Always high octave. And so when he meets Rusty and he gives him almost an objective, but it's a fun objective, Jack's like, oh, this is my jam right now. And he focuses so well on it.
This gave me some very big feels that if we did this episode 6 months ago,
Sure.
I would not have the same feels about this episode.
Interesting.
Because of karate. I think I've mentioned on here, I'm not sure if it's on here or the Patreon, but Miss Emily started karate about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
She hadn't had she did dance when she was a real little, but after that lovely pandemic we went through, she hadn't had a lot of extra activity out of school.
Sure.
And she can have some fidgety energy. She can have some forgetfulness energy. She can have some of those characteristics.
Of course.
But she's like, I want to try karate. All right, that's cool. It's a thing to do. Not sure if it's going to be your thing or not, but let's try it. We get there the first day, and it's structure. They do a mantra at the,
Ooh, we need a mantra.
We are about courtesy, integrity, self-control, and an indomitable spirit. Our goal is black belt excellence, sir. Thank you, sir. Courtesy, sir. Everything. They do a jumping jack. They do a push-up. 1, sir. 2, sir.
Dang.
When every move is done, they bow. Courtesy. Thank you, sir. It's very, very structured like that. And we were like 2 classes in. It's like, ooh, I don't know how she's going to feel about this. All these sirs and ma'ams and thank yous. And
Sure.
Got done with the first, like, I love this. And she is rocking and rolling the last 6 months.
Awesome.
She's advanced 2 belts. 2 things. I know this is we're jumping off, but this is what we do.
We're gonna go off the wheels on this, folks.
Just when like having these structure, be it be it Army or play like this, like structure things like that. This little Miss Emily, she was there the other day. She's a yellow belt now, which is a second belt up. They had some new kids who were just starting.
Official.
Girl sitting right next to her who was trying, was struggling with the moves. Emily stopped what she was doing, went over to that little girl, showed her the correct form and posture, got her into it. While she was doing her stuff, kept looking over, and she was doing good. And she was giving her thumbs up, and like it's like, that's my girl. Then we had another kid who was extremely fidgety, was not really listening still, kind of newer to the program. They had like a team thing where they had a race, and Emily was on his team. Emily's team should have won, but this kid got distracted and didn't like you're supposed like when you're done with it, you set, arms to your side. This kid just kind of sat there and wasn't setting. It's like, well, this team finished first, but since so-and-so didn't set, the winner is this group. And I was like, in my head, I was like, well, dang it. You know, Emily could have won. Emily goes up to that kid, pats him on the shoulder, and I just see her mouthing, it's okay. Like,
yeah, boy!
My girl. So enough of me saying how much my daughter is the superstar rock star. But just back to my point. Structure systems like this for people who sometimes need a little bit more structure can be life changers.
Very much
can
so.
truly be life changers. And I love that that's the story that they are just about to start telling. Because, hey, Mike, we haven't even said this episode's called Army.
I understand that
and we're going deep, man.
Early, but we said we're going to probably be the longest episode ever. And that's after we've done episodes with Hammer Barn. They went for like an hour and a half. So sorry, not sorry, because it's when anybody finds a specific joy that they can pursue and better themselves in, and it's just because we're different doesn't mean you can't pursue your passion in a way that makes you smile, because that's all that matters in the end.
Find your people, find your tribe, and you will be fine.
Boom.
It doesn't matter.
Oh gosh.
And man, we're gonna get a little deep again. Life can be hard. Things can be tough. You can feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel. You think that nothing can go better. Everything will go better. Find your tribe, find your people, find your community. Everything will get better, my friends. I tell you right now, everything will get better.
Is it oh gosh, I'm gonna Granfalloon is the I'm going to say some weird things here. You don't get to judge me now because we're in the deepest episode ever, and that's how it's going to work.
Do you know the time here?
It's a Caress. So I mean, we're in the weird episode. So you found us. Kurt Vonnegut, his book Cat's Cradle. Ooh. It's a Caress is a circle of people that you basically have found and created your own tribe of people. Just that.
Hey, Mike, what's a Caress?
That is a the word Caress, coined by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., refers to a network or group of people that, unknown to them, are linked specifically to fulfill. It says the will of God, but at that time it's their own created religions and sci-fi, all that kind of stuff. But it's finding your own group of people.
Find your people, my friends.
That do that. So that's what we've gotten to, is going to Uncle Vonnie here, because this episode's called Army.
We're not starting out as a full-fledged soldier, though. We got to start as a recruit.
Yes. That's right.
Where's your hat, recruit Russell?
I forgot it. Don't worry.
Look at Rusty. I've got a backup hat just in case.
Got you,
know
homie?
What? I'm mother flipping Rusty.
Of course you do.
And I got you, boy. I got you.
I think he might, in the midst of all the chaos, sneak something into Jack's backpack for a later scene that we'll get to, of course, because that's what we do. But he has something that is camo that ends up showing up in Jack's backpack too.
I think it's just simply though a second hat because he wants to play Army with somebody.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling Rusty plays Army solo a lot.
It seems that
until now.
Well, what's fun about that is, you know, as much as we do talk about Jack in this episode, you can kind of gauge Rusty's vibe, because maybe he is very introverted, and he'll do his thing. And then you're like, oh, a new friend. Hey, I'm Rusty. What's up? I mean, I kind of connect with Rusty a lot when it comes to that kind of vibe, too. So, if you're Calypso right now, how tall does the grass need to be that you say, I don't know if I'd let you play out there, friends?
Man, oh man.
Because if I know anything about Australia, there's chickens.
There's chickens if you're lucky. Well, luckily we've got the hand signals down.
That's right.
We got the first lesson. That's where we get our first little flash, just showing Jack's hand, but with the multicolored backgrounds as he's changing it. Which again, just love those little things.
Where's he filming this? Where's he doing this post-experience interview?
Again, fourth wall breaking, but in the best possible way to keep us up with the story.
Ludo called him up, being like, "Yo, dog, we need
some extra scenes." But we get to it. Get down. Move over here. Because watch out. Coco's coming.
Hey.
With her frisbee. She's playing some frisbee golf, apparently.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, similar. I don't want to take a great episode and just bring you into a dark side of life, but almost Blue Mountains-esque. Maybe the grass isn't really that long that you can't see their heads. Maybe it is the Rusty and Jack imagination, and it's just, someone needs to mow the grass and they're playing, because that grass tops their head. at times.
That's some tall grass.
That's some tall grass. But
I do enjoy how Coco was slightly unnerved by what she was watching, though. Just like
They're just
two little boy dogs crouching in front of her. It's
plank
like
mode.
just kind of does that. So because Coco can get a little bit nervous sometimes.
Coco can. It very much had the Chloe's mom where she's walking by Bandit during Magic Xylophone, where she's just like, okay, run away! Like they're doing their game. Was Coco in Adventure?
I don't think so.
I
think it was just a two.
It was Chloe and it was Bluey.
And then we had Bluey, and then we had some terriers.
There were terriers in it. I don't know.
I think that was the extent of it.
Okay. I don't know for sure. Like that's you don't get to call us out on this one, folks. This is a this is a personal thought that we're having right now.
So we're doing some push-ups.
Yes.
Get the exercise, and again, that just brings me back to karate too, because they do kicks and this and that. It's like, okay, whoever has the best kick, who has the best form, finishes. What's our next physical activity? Push-ups, jumping jacks, stretches, this, that. So just kind of like breaking in the routine to actually just like do some workouts in there too.
Rusty's done it long enough to where he can take a little nappy poo. He's good.
Oh, it's not nap time yet.
No.
It's time to know your landmarks.
Oh, that's right.
And hey, Mike, what's Tango 7?
Blue gum.
It's a blue gum.
We didn't know
Would
that.
have helped if you knew that a few weeks ago,
Would have
Mike.
kind of been helpful. I know,
When we were
man.
on our trivia podcast with our buddy Tim Dipple.
Dang it.
Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Next time.
We were correct-ish. Dang
Next
it.
time we'll
It
do
was
it.
the dust
Believe in
off.
us. It was the dust off.
I know.
Moving on.
Of course we are.
Jack telling little truth with Rusty. Sometimes I struggle with names and with numbers and words. But Rusty says it's important, so I better try to remember this.
Yeah.
And if it's important to Rusty right now, it's important to Jack.
Because Rusty loves his dust-offs.
He does.
He does.
And again, we got that fourth ball cutaway, so we know what a dust-off is. Like for the viewers at home, it's when you call a helicopter to rescue you.
So, this is where I think that there is something cool about, because Rusty's dad is obviously away, with the military. And I think this says a lot about what Rusty's dad says to him about his experiences in military, because with what's going to be coming soon with a shocking appearance, as opposed to being like, there was a disturbance, but we took care of it. Everything that Rusty's hearing is, go back to safety, call for the dust off. So I think that it's a very big thing for Rusty in his head that Dad's coming home. What'd I do? Oh, computer? Computer's happening.
Okay.
So I think that it's a cool portrayal of what Rusty's dad is telling his little one, because it's not, we came across this or that, and he doesn't go into full detail. You see just full safety mode of what Army is, and that's exactly what Rusty does, but he also supports his team. There's a lot happening in this one across all of the boards, man.
There is.
I can't.
We got more push-ups, and we got sentry duty.
Yes.
I love me some sentry duty here, because Jax just feels so proud. Mm-hmm. Like he's guarding all the other soldiers while they sleep. It's my responsibility to keep everybody safe right now. And I love this line right here. And I might be stretching, but because I'm going to do this a couple times in this episode.
You got this.
I was really good at sentry duty. And then Rusty crawls up, you're really good at sentry duty. That brought me to Forrest Gump. That just brought me in my... There's another part that brings me to Forrest Gump in a minute, too. But it's just... Bubba knew everything about the shrimping business.
Yeah.
I know everything about the shrimping business. It was like... It just really felt like how Forrest was telling a story, and then in the story, he says the exact same words. And it was that exact same thing.
Oh.
It was like, this is...
Oh,
and that's very Army-related relationship in Forrest Gump. And we got again, it might be a stretch.
Keep going. There's no stretch there. There's the motif of a lot of this movie. See, that's how
it's epic.
Army is movie. So
Saving Private Russell.
it has it's so key on pulling a lot of those, because there was a lot of cultural movies and TV shows that were based on the Vietnam War, and I don't think they're specifically going for the Vietnam War, but they do the best portrayal.
I'm thinking they're very much not, because I don't think Australia was involved in that in any way, shape, or form.
I can't answer that.
Name one war that Australia was involved in.
Don't put me on that kind of hot seat there, homie.
Yikes!
I got it.
I'm sure that
to deal with right now.
Just to clarify, that's not saying that something didn't happen. That says we're dumb Americans and we don't know stuff.
Hoo-ah!
Just to be clear. Yikes! Stripes. Okay.
It's AUS, not USA right now.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Have you ever had military rations?
I have never had military rations.
My shout out to veteran and my uncle Sean Finley, who served in Korea for a number of years. He came back and shared some. He had I'm not sure if it was from when he was away or a different time, but he's actually shared some rations before. It's it's not the most flavorful thing in the world, let me tell you that.
Sure.
But it's very interesting, and I can see how the kids were very excited about it.
Sure.
Because it is something so new and different, and something that your dad can bring back from military. And whereas if you're going on a work conference to Florida and you're bringing back a fun souvenir, you're going to war potentially. Going through some hard stuff, but still, I'm going to bring something back for my kids to know they're happy. So, shout out Rusty's dad. Shout out my Uncle Sean.
See?
Yeah.
Condensed milk? You get any of that?
I've not. We have irradiated milk. Is that what we got from Australia a couple weeks ago? Is that what they called it?
Gosh.
The banana milk?
Gosh.
The Bluey banana milk? Hey, I appreciate that it was sent to us. That's gonna stay in that bottle as a souvenir for me.
It's just gonna live there forever.
It's gonna live there forever.
Come on, you got your rations.
One day it will probably be hard liquor with how much it will have fermented over time. I'll save those rations for a later date.
Oh.
But I like too. They set the table for the spoilers. The big reveal coming. Rusty knows so much about patrol because his dad's on patrol right now.
Stop.
He'll be back hopefully soon.
Because now it's time for some chicken.
Oh, that turkey, the scariest bit. And
marsh turkey,
and
I think is where I saw that it was
marsh turkey
referred to, but
I thought bush turkey is what
could be that too. Yes.
Hey, hey guys, watching Bluey.
Sounds about right.
You guys you tell us everything
What's up with that bird?
What's up with that bird? He looks scary.
So wait. We just went through all that yelling about how there's a chicken on the grounds and how terrifying that should be. There's freaking marsh turkeys or bush turkeys running around this place.
Well, and I like because we get the stop. Music stops too.
Down.
Music stops dead.
Good job.
It comes
Gregory.
back in a second, but just like the second the arm comes up, music stops completely. And again, this is another moment that brings me back to Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Because they're walking in the field, and then all of a sudden the rain stops. And everything's quiet. And then we have the scariest event of that.
Well done, young man.
So it's
What do we
dust
do?
off. It's dust off time.
Do we fight? Do we run?
We run.
That's right.
We run. And again, dust off, very, very similar to what happens in Forrest Gump.
Very much.
Lieutenant Dan calls for, I'm not sure if they called it a dust off in that, but they just,
I don't. Oh,
they
that's on
napalmed
us.
the whole stinking place.
I've seen that movie at least twice.
I've seen it way more than twice.
That's one of those movies. If it's on TV, even if it's midway through, I'm watching the rest of it. So it's yes.
But it's crucial because Rusty knows the location.
That's right.
But it's not Rusty's job to remember right now. It's Jack's job. And my goodness, the fact that Rusty is a good enough friend to realize it would mean a lot for Jack to remember this right now. And to be, because Rusty could have just taken over and said,
Of course.
Tango 7, let's go. Jack, I told you, where do we have to go?
It's the thinking. And then it has that like undercut and it looks up at Jack and the sky kind of opens a little bit and the sun pops.
Jack remembered the blue gum as Tango 7.
Oh,
we
God,
might
we
not
did.
have, but Jack did. Way to go, Jack. But I do like, too, he remembered, but that's fine. That doesn't matter because we're just running now.
That's right. Well, and he pulls out from his backpack, from Jack's backpack. There was something that has camo on it that he uses as his walkie-talkie.
Oh.
Where he's saying, now this is where fun little, I think, I'm just going to shoot my shot here on the captioning, because I always go caption. It says, Owl's head is no good. I'm like, what the heck is Owl's head? And I think the captioner got it incorrect because it's LZ is no good.
Oh.
LZ, but if it was Z, Americans don't understand it because it'd be like, we call that letter Z. So he said, LZ is no good, which stands for landing zone is no good.
Oh.
That's why we have to run.
Nice.
Oh, I had to dig on that one, but I found it. I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense. I'm like, what the heck's Owl's head?
It would be really hard to land on a tree.
LZ is no good. Yeah, you can't land on that tree.
But I do like that. Gave that moment for Jack to remember, even though it's like, because it's like, it's okay, you don't remember. We just have to run. So he had like a backup plan.
Ready to go.
So that Jack wouldn't feel bad if they struggled. Exactly.
Ah!
And then we get our run, Forrest, run moment.
Oh.
Because one thing I can do, I can run because I'm a Jack Russell.
It's a literal name. He's
that flipping line. I don't know why I loved it so much. And then just Jack sprints past Rusty. Whoa. Just impressed. Like, this kid can motor.
Don't get me wrong. There are some characters named in Bluey that are similar to what their breed is. Blue Healer. I get that, but she's named Blue. He's literally Jack Russell. That's what he is. Look out, world, because he's going for it. It's so good.
Get to the chopper!
They get to the chopper. Well, they don't. They go to the resting spot. They have to escape. There's no dust off. We gotta escape.
I love the line that this is our second Arnold movie. Our second Arnold Schwarzenegger movie callback. We had
Total Recall.
We had Total Recall in season 1. We got Predator now.
Look at you.
When are we gonna have Bingo sitting at a bar saying, "Here's to you, Dad"? When are we getting our Jingle All the Way moment?
When we get to Christmas Swim, maybe.
Christmas Swim Part 3?
Yep.
Too Christmas, Too Furious?
No. This is where I feel the most Vietnam War-esque movie scene when they're in the treehouse.
And just looking over the
Quiet,
fields.
but the music that plays that Joff chose to put in there, and it's crystal clear. It's the Buffalo Springfield song, For What It's Worth, where it's the but he delays it, so it's the first note. So that first note does hit, but he doesn't go for immediate, I'm playing the song. There's a whole another bar, and then he plays the second note, because you hear it at first, you're like, oh, it's got that. Oh, it does. And he hits the second note, you're like, oh, Joff!
That's why we keep you around, my friend. I wouldn't have caught that. As I'm staring at you talk about all this lovely music things with guitars behind you. You're my good music boy, and I
Yes!
appreciate you.
Yes, it was a mutual moment that I think, this is a shout out to the wifey who heard it first, where she's like, that's that Buffalo Springfield song. I'm like, hang on. We looked it up and rewound it like 4 times, so can't not say that.
Then we get that nice moment. Like, things are calm. Mm-hmm. We're halfway out. We're still in the game, but we're taking kind of like a very like, what happened at your own school? Why are you here now? And that kind of confirms a lot of our thoughts that this is the school for kids who need just a little bit more love, a little bit more help, a little bit more focus, a little bit more attention.
They changed Jack's line in the American version.
How so?
So he asked about the school. Like, what was wrong with the school? And he says, nothing wrong with the school. In the American version, he says, there's something going on with me. In the Australian version, Jack just says, there's something wrong with me.
Isn't that what they say? So what do they say in the American one?
In the American one, something going on with me.
Oh, I just listened and I could have swore it was something's wrong with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Disney Plus hit me with this something
They
going
might have we'll have to listen to it after and confirm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard there's nothing wrong with the school. There's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
That might have just been my head hearing I didn't have captions on.
I don't know then. Maybe I'm wrong.
But just the change or not, just I can't remember anything. I can't sit still. I can't remember numbers, letters, my hats. And then we just have like a pause, like, you're really good at playing Army. And it's like, my dude, Rusty. My dude, Rusty. Like, what a good red Kelpie.
I want to be friends with Rusty.
Me too.
Dang it.
Me too. Like, just the instant bond, the instant friendship. Like, they're gonna be buds for the rest of time.
Yeah, we didn't get the Daddy drop-off final cutscene of Jack and Rusty growing up
forever and ever and ever. Doing keg stands in college. But just we're back from patrol. Officially promoted to private.
Yes.
We got a lot more Army games coming down the road, I'm sure, for them. Mm-hmm. And here we go. Like, I'm not joking. We've had some recording struggles this week, just finding the right times and busy. Life can be busy sometimes. So I literally was watching this 15 minutes before I came over here to take some final notes.
Yeah, and then you took a 5-minute cry break.
I really did.
Dude!
Like when we get there, where's that condensed milk come from? Oh, I got it from Rusty. His dad gave it to him back. I literally
Don't give me the chills already, dog!
My throat just dried. My eyes started tearing. It's like, man, like just thinking how that. I remember, this is going to be slightly off topic, but not really. I remember when Beth and I were going on our honeymoon. Gosh, 13 plus years ago now. We were running late, waking up. We had to rush to the airport. We didn't have time to grab any food because we were flying out to our cruise the day of, which was a bad idea.
Painter plans better than that. He knows better.
I know better now. But we get to the airport. I step away from Beth for a minute to grab us some breakfast. I step back and she's just bawling her eyes out because while I was gone, a soldier had just gotten off the plane before us.
Oh, she had a real life version of this.
With mom and I can't remember if it was just mom or mom and kid just there and just walk off and just that big hug and just broke her complete. And then she told me about it and I gave her a hug and I was like, wow, that's the feel I get every time I see Jack's dad come back. See Rusty's dad come back and just run up and give that a hug.
It's a cheat code to make somebody cry. Is pull up like a 10-minute video of military returns. You want to go to that next level to make it even balance back to what we were talking about here. Dogs seeing their owner return.
We get both here.
I'm already getting chills across the board. Now,
another fun fact.
Yes.
Another fun fact.
You can't stop here. You know this.
Rusty's dad, voiced by Anthony Field.
The Wiggle, right?
He's a Wiggle.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy. I was like, that's gotta be. It's a very one line. That's gotta be somebody kind of cool. So I looked it up, and that's when I found out.
I feel like I know two people that could do really great one-liners too. I don't know personally.
Hit us up, my dudes.
I don't know. What can I say?
We would do it for free.
Yeah, of course. No questions asked.
We would pay you.
Don't even put us in the credits. Well, put us in the credits. It'd be cool.
Animate us in the background.
Spell my name right, please.
Mork Morton. Continue.
The one random thought I had at the end where he promoted him to, he was private, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, Rusty, he is a solo act when it comes to this Army game. And he comes back and he says, don't worry, we needed to make sure that, the grounds are all clear and all that. Like, it almost sounds like he's making sure that the grounds need protecting. If only he had a crew of 3 privates that could just handle protecting.
I feel like an A-team style.
Those terriers would be epic.
Terriers and Rusty.
Depends
and
on the
Jack
day.
too.
It could be a Jack and Rusty day, or it could be a stable in wrestling. They mix up the members every now and then. I could not see that working out very well because they have their shields and swords, and Rusty's not there for fighting. And what kind of Romans are they invading or protecting? So maybe he's just looking for that pacifistic approach.
Band of brothers slowly being built. One soldier at a time in Rusty's army.
And just Snickers running circles in the yard.
This was such a fun, amazing episode. We're not the only ones who like this episode, though. We've had a few people reach out with some thoughts and feels. So first, we have Jules at Entropicage.
Woo!
I know I'm very proud of myself if I pronounced that right. Odds are
I see
low.
you did.
But they sent us a lovely little note. Hi, Bandits, long-time listener, first-time writer. Want to talk about my favorite episode in Season 2, Army. It introduced Jack, one of the absolute favorite side characters, has plenty for my best boy Rusty, and gets surprisingly deep when you get into the heart of things. I was around the same age as the kids in the show when I was diagnosed with ADHD. I couldn't pay attention in class, homework was a constant struggle, and I always had so much nervous energy. I'm starting to break up reading this.
You're getting vibes. I feel that's why I'm just drinking water and looking off in the distance.
Seeing Jack start off with similar struggles and his visible frustration at being called out by his little sister made me feel so much for him. I keep going back to the line, "There's something wrong with me," which he Jules actually points out, which Disney changed. And as a kid who had been talked to in front of a lot by doctors, teachers, I get the feeling that there's some internalizing going on here. But the arrival at the school, seeing him immediately accepted and thriving with Rusty was absolutely heartwarming. The confidence boost from being told he did a good thing, it all shows the level of care showrunners have writing true to life. Anyway, love you, Jules, and Auntie Frisky at heart. Appreciate you, Jules.
Shout out. Love you
so
too,
cool.
Jules. Holy
I've read that a couple times, and again, I'm just a softie. I broke up just halfway through that too. So, and then next we also had some audio sent to us by Stardella that will pop into here right now, just explaining some of the feels they have on this lovely episode.
Show us your vibes. What's up?
Hi, Greg and Mike. My name's Adela. I'm a younger fan of the podcast, and I'm an older fan of Bluey. I'm 18, and I originally started watching Bluey because of my interest in studying the color designs and the background art. And I'm not exactly sure when this episode will come out, but I'll mention that I'm recording this on June 27th. First off, I just want to tell you how much I love the podcast. I listen to podcasts just all the time while I'm taking walks, fishing, driving, drawing, just all the time. And I mean, most of the time, I kind of need there to be some kind of background noise, basically at all times. And I promise this is all important to my message because of the themes of this episode. Army is a really special episode to me, and especially Jack as character. And not only does the episode introduce someone new, but there's actually something special about him, and that's the fact that Jack has ADHD. I didn't realize this about myself until pretty recently, and seeing Jack on screen reminds me of myself a lot. That's one of the reasons that I need background noise at all time, like I just mentioned a minute ago. The beginning of the episode especially, like sometimes I get discouraged by others around me, and it's easy for me to lose my self-confidence. Like how Jack is kind of put down by his sister and his dad on the way to school. And I mean, it doesn't always have to be like putting people down. It could be more like what Jack's dad is saying about how like, hey, can you sit still? Like, even that can kind of make you feel like you're doing something wrong. And once he starts playing with Rusty, he gains some more confidence in himself by seeing how much Rusty's willing to play with him, despite how he claims to just not be very good at much. In my experience, people who are willing to treat neurodivergent individuals with the same respect as neurotypical people can leave a lasting positive impression on them, which means a lot more than a lot of people realize. And Jack also has an ability that I think that myself and a lot of other neurodivergent people have, which is like once he realizes that he's good at something and it's something that he enjoys doing, he just throws himself into it. I know that a lot of people that also have ADHD feel the same way about this episode and about Jack, and maybe there will even be another audio clip sent in for this episode, and if so, hi other person. That's it for my thoughts on the episode, and thanks for letting me share them. I really look forward to listening to you guys' episode about Army.
Thank you, Star
Oh
Della.
my
That was,
gosh.
again, we love hearing from you guys.
Yes.
watchingbluey@gmail.com. Send us. This was just a beautiful episode, man. I enjoyed talking with you. We're running long here, but I don't care because I got 3 things I still need to know about.
Yes.
Starting with, hey, Mike.
Yeah.
What was your favorite thing?
Gosh, I don't like coming up with a favorite thing because I'm getting just it's a difficult episode. Like I said, camping, sleepy time, all that good stuff. It absolutely, it gives you those vibes. But this one just feels like from beginning to end, it really is going to be up there in top tier. I think I'm going to not do the gut laugh. And I'm just going to have that moment where when it clicks that first time, when Jack's mom says, "Where'd you get condensed milk?" You're like, fudge, man. Because you knew the next part was coming, and you just get 2 seconds of chills and vibes, and then it goes right to credits. It's just, I have to give it to the ending of the episode, man. I want to do like
that's not a bad answer. I'm not gonna I had 2 on my list. That was one of the 2 just after I saw what you said.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah?
What was your favorite thing in Army, man?
I really loved when we were doing our dust off and we had to run to the field, and then Jack's like, "That's one thing I'm good at, because I'm a Jack Russell." Just like how proud he sounded in his voice, like, "I've got this." And then just Rusty being so impressed, like, whoa.
Yes.
It was just like a really cool moment for Jack. I think it was cool for Rusty because like, oh, this is somebody who's got some chops who can keep up with me. This is gonna be fun. So I think that's when everything kind of clicked for their relationship. They kind of had having fun, they were building stuff, and that was kind of like a good moment for them to be like, "Oh, this kid's kind of cool. I'm gonna kick him around for a while."
That's what's awesome about that kind of friendship that's built is, and I thought many a time in my life, I don't know if I could be friends with myself just because I know that I'm allowed to take in. When you find your right friends and you click on the correct gears and cylinders, Rusty was realizing very heavily there. He's like, "I like this kid. We're going to be around each other a lot."
Yeah.
And you get that vibe. Dang it. With a good welcome aboard to the most difficult question of the day. Who's your favorite character, Greg?
For me, it's got to be Jack.
Okay.
I love everything from Jack's story in this. I love that we knew nothing about this character at the start, and by the end, we're in love with them. For me, frankly, when we're probably about 5 months out from it, but when it's bracket time, sleepy time, best watch out, because this one's up there for me. This is such a good episode. It's just so pure and heartwarming on so many levels.
Right.
Jack's just the best.
And it's an episode.
Jack needs more episodes.
Agreed. And I think what shows the quality of the show of Bluey is with Sleepy Time, you have a family that you've grown to know for how many episodes that you get Sleepy Time. What they do is one episode introduce a new character and make you say, "Holy crap, this is good TV." So I can't.
So then, Mike,
I don't want to double dip. I feel like
who's your favorite character?
There's 3 options total in this episode, and I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna take the cheap, easy way out. It's the reason why they were able to hang out. I'm giving it to Calypso today.
Really? Oh wow.
Yes, because without her hanging out with that red Kelpie, as opposed to being like, "Rusty, come hang out. She just introduced somebody that's very just learning how they want to, experience the world. And she's like, okay, I know the right way to do this. You two are going to click. And I'm going to do it in the Calypso way. And it's just... Obviously, I have to say Rusty, too.
In the same way that she did that for Pretzel.
Yes.
In the first Calypso episode. Just stay there. You'll be ready when you're ready.
Yeah.
And whenever somebody came up to talk to her about something, every small thing she said facilitated play for everyone else. And on this episode, Jack's new. I know how to make Jack feel real welcome.
Whew.
But also Rusty. I think
that's
an
what
honorable
I mean.
mention for both of us to Rusty, because Rusty was one heck of a friend here.
Good.
One heck of a
That's
friend.
not fair. Picking a favorite character in this episode is not a fair choice to force.
So then how do you rank this amazing episode of Bluey?
I rank this episode 2 moments of Snickers running around in circles to give yourself a little levity of the heaviness that you're going to experience watching this episode. Because you see him in the beginning, and you're like, oh, there's that goober. And you see him at the end. He's out of breath, I think. So whatever was going on, he was on his own event. It's just, okay, cool.
It's just happy heavy.
Yeah.
It's not even like...
There's nothing in this episode that makes me be like, oh, man. Or I'm not getting, John Luke tears because they might not never see each other. And they do... So, and of course, by not doing the gut laugh thing for my favorite thing, I had to go for the cheap joke for...
That's all good, my dude.
Greg, how in the world can you rank episode 68 of Bluey?
I rank this episode 3 stars, which is the level of general Rusty will be one day, leading the Australian military to glory. Bright future for both those doggos.
Oh my gosh, we
Love
did
this stinking episode so much. Thank you all for bearing with us with what I think is our longest episode
For
ever.
just the two of us?
But you know what?
Yes.
In a really good gosh darn way.
I think so, and I think you expressed it the most because you did it twice with the comebacks from the clip that we listened to, and also the thank you at the end. Usually you have that boisterous thank you, but this episode just hits so hard.
It hits the feel so good.
And people have been, I don't want to say the word, they've been asking us a lot about when this episode is coming out.
We had somebody on the Patreon say, hey, can I request just Army early?
Well, it's here now, friends. Don't
It's here
worry.
now. Really quick, let's go through our plugs.
Always.
linktr.ee, Watching Bluey, merch, Patreon, social, TikTok. We did it. We did it. We
1K,
hit 1K.
baby.
We've got lives coming down the road eventually, AMAs. We'll do some live episodes. I'll randomly be bored and go
do it.
live sometimes.
He'll do it. I know
We'll
he
play
will.
some cricket on Xbox
You don't know
Gamer
us.
Pass. We'll do a whole bunch of stuff. So
Keep your eyes
be ready
peeled.
for that.
We are based in Eastern Standard Time when we do things. Keep that in mind when it comes to...
I mentioned earlier, watchingbluey@gmail.com.
Yes,
Send us
and.
your takes, your reviews. We love hearing from you. We love being able to drop, especially if you have such big feels on these episodes, like one like this. Please send it in, even if it's an episode we've already talked about.
Sure.
We'll plop it in right now.
Always will still plug it. We promise you.
Rate, review always helps us out on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate it.
Yay!
P.O. Box 2372, Syracuse, New York 13220. Big stinking thank you to Adam Duffman Duffy
Duffman!
for sending us what's the official name of it?
Oh, I'm not even going to hesitate.
The Australian Women's World.
Ready?
There you go.
This is the official Australian Women's Weekly Children's Birthday Cake Book Vintage Edition.
Why is that so special though, Mike?
Australia's most famous children's cake book. Says it right
Any
on it.
cool cakes in there?
There
like
are-
maybe a duck cake?
Duck cake!
Duck cake. Thank you, Adam. This was so kind of you. I really appreciate you sending it. Anybody wants
Gonna
to
make them all.
Well, keep your eyes in your mail.
Most
Some
difficult
fun stuff
cake to
coming
make from what I've
your
heard.
way.
Seen them on some people posting on Twitter trying to make them for their children's first birthday.
one day-
Some famous wrestlers that may have done that we'll talk to one day. hopefully.
Johnny, please.
Oh, what's up, friends? Quality cake, Candace. Quality.
And lastly,
Oh, gosh.
and most importantly,
It's not an ad for a duck cake, is it? Because I know exactly where you can find it.
if you want to be all you can be, check out the Defense Force Recruiting Center in Brisbane on Ann Street, Brisbane City. Navy, Army, Air Force, so many options to defend the beautiful land of Australia.
Oh, that's a great one.
www.defensejobs.gov.au.
Oh,
Appreciate you all.
That
Appreciate
was a
you
marathon.
rocking this
conversation.
journey with us.
Yes.
We'll be back again next week. But until then, friends,
Until then, we don't have a better way to end it.
it's got to be done.
It's gotta be done, man.